Well, hi everyone, welcome to another Lanzarote information video. I'm Mike from Lanzarote Information. And today we're going to be covering the story of Puerto Calero. Now, Puerto Calero today didn't exist until 1980. There was pretty much nothing there, I think, perhaps 4 or 5 houses. But these days, the area we know as Puerto Calero has a thriving marina. It does a lot of business with Atlantic crossing vessels stopping to refit before they go. It's home of the island's famous yellow submarine, of Cat Lanza, the big catamaran that goes out on sailing trips. There is a 5-star hotel and 2 4-star hotels in Puerto Calero, as well as loads and loads of beautiful independent villas with large plots and private swimming pools and a couple of small complexes. It's a bustling, very, very busy place, and Puerto Calero as a whole gives employment to around 1,000 families on the island. For many people, it's the dream destination. For one man, it was a complete and utter dream, and he achieved that dream. That man is Pepe Calero. Now, Pepe Calero, or to give him his proper name, Jose Calero Rodriguez, was born in 1945 in La Somada near Tias. Now, he was one of 8 children, and he left the island at the age of 16 to go and live in Liberia, where he worked for the Firestone engineering company from the United States. He spent many years working for the company, and a lot of his travel was back to the United States to go and visit head office. So he was traveling regularly between Liberia in the African peninsula over to the United States. And Firestone's head office in those days, it may well still be actually, was in Baltimore. And on one of his visits, Pepe Calero saw a marina for the first time, a place where people could moor their private boats, their sailing boats, their motorboats. And he saw in the marina that there were shops and restaurants, and the place was a real centre of interest for him. Now, his family owned a fairly large tract of land between Puerto del Carmen and Playa Camada. And this kind of sowed a seed in Pepe's mind that he could do this kind of thing at some point in the future when he returned to Lanzarote, to the family home. But in the meantime, he continued working in Liberia and regularly visiting Lanzarote to come and meet with his family and spend time with them. And it was during one such trip that he met his future wife. She was Milagros Prats, and he met with her at a dinner at the Hotel Farallones, which was at that time one of only 2 hotels on the island. Now, over the next few years, the couple had 2 children, Jose Juan and Danielle, both boys, and they continued living in Liberia and regularly coming back to Lanzarote for visits. But the catalyst for Puerto Calero happened in 1980, when there was a coup of the government. The government was taken over by rebels. Firestone immediately shut down their operation, and Pepe and his whole family moved back to Lanzarote in 1980. It was time for him to start work on creating his dream, his vision of Puerto Calero. Now, Pepe used his own money to realise his initial dream, which was some going, because if you think about the investment, even on the initial building works, it was tremendous. But he really, really wanted to achieve this and create the first proper marina on the island of Lanzarote. His original plan included the marina itself, of course, and the relevant buildings that are still there for the companies that would operate within the marina. He also wanted to build a residential complex, not a big one initially, a relatively small one, and he also had plans for a golf course which never came to fruition. Now, he and his team of builders started work on this project in 1983, and it took them 6 years to get to the point where the marina could be opened in 1989. Now, at that time, at the time it opened, it had berthing for 198 vessels, up to a maximum length of 20 metres. The harbour buildings that were there opened relatively quickly and businesses went into them and started using them straight away. The marina itself was an outstanding success because up until that time, if you had a leisure boat on the island of Lanzarote, you were restricted really to mooring it offshore off some of the fishing villages and paying for buoying, or in some cases you could get them into some kind of harbour at Puerto Calero, for example, but the costs were relatively high because they were designed for commercial shipping rather than leisure shipping. So the marina took off in a really big way and was a great success. So much so that there have been two periods of expansion of the actual marina part, and in 1992 the first one was completed. And that increased the moorings to 400, so it effectively doubled the size of the marina. And then there was another project that was done in the year 2000, which was to create a section where super yachts of up to 80 metres could berth. All of the berths have Wi-Fi, water and electricity points, and there's private security that tours the marina at all times to make sure that the boats that are in their care are being looked after and are safe. So as I'm recording this today, there are 438 berths. It's just worth making the point, this is 2025, it's just worth making the point that there is now another project, a €6.3 million project, to expand the marina even further over the next 5 or 6 years. So the marina was an outstanding success really from day one and continues to be until today. What Pepe Calero did with those initial profits from all the boats moored in the marina as they started to roll in, he moved on to his plans for residential and tourist areas in the marina. And the first couple of things that happened were that the permission was given to the Esperia group to build the 5-star Esperia Hotel, which is now called Secrets, incidentally. And then shortly after that was underway, permission was given by Pepe Calero for a 4-star hotel, the Costa Calero, again, which is still there today. And for a long time, those two hotels provided the bulk of the tourist accommodation in Puerto Calero. They've been joined by a third in recent years, which is Royal Marina Suites, which is right down on the front with beautiful ocean views and a pool that looks over the ocean in Puerto Calero. But it wasn't just about tourists. Pepe Calero also wanted to create or turn Puerto Calero into an upmarket residential area. And in fact, one of his sons, Daniel, was put in charge of the real estate company, which gradually over the years released plots to either building companies or individuals to build their own villas, but to very exacting standards and specifications. And these are large plots. Typically, they're 1,000 to 1,500 square meters. And there are some absolutely beautiful properties that have been built in this area. And they take advantage of the fact that coming up from the harbour, there's a hill. So the row behind, if you like, in two roads, actually still gets the sea view over the top of the other villas. And also during this period, two residential stroke tourist letting communities were created. The first was called Marina Azul, and that one has 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartments, 3- and 4-bedroom duplexes, all centred around a beautiful communal swimming pool with parking underneath the whole property. And there's another one across the road which has, I think it's 2- and 3-bedroom duplexes. And both of these are mainly residential, but there are quite a few properties available for holiday letting on them as well. Now, to bring you right up to date, you have all of those operating to great success in the area. There has been very recently a shopping centre built, which is right at the side of the Costa Calero Hotel. So that's added a supermarket and a number of new shops and offices there. The marina is thriving. The front line of bars and restaurants have all been going for many years and are doing very well. There's a big boat building and repair concern based at the marina that has dry docking and a crane to lift boats out of the water. Now, Puerto Calero is one of the few places on the island that employs private security. And when you're down there, you'll see the security guards checking the boats out. They have little electric cars that run around Puerto Calero, just making sure everything's all right. There aren't people behaving suspiciously. And additionally to that, in addition to the private security, the landscaping down there is absolutely beautiful, and they've really taken care as each new section of Puerto Calero has been built to make sure that they've invested heavily in planting around it. So there are palms and cactuses and very nice pecan or rofe on the surfaces all around there, and they are all properly maintained and watered. And what about the family? Well, Pepe Calero is still with us. Sadly, his wife Milagros died in 2019, and the two boys now run the business, with Jose Juan looking after the marina side of the business and Daniel looking after the real estate side of it. I think it's a lovely story, and also a very impressive one, that one man, A, could have this vision for something, B, have the funding himself to do it and actually create it and get it off the ground, and 3, the energy and commitment to keep going for all those years of building in the beginning in a what was a pretty inhospitable area for building, and see it through to the end and success. And I'm sure he looks down on Puerto Calero now with a feeling of great pride, and he deserves to. So that's the story of Puerto Calero. I hope you've enjoyed that. I think it's a fascinating one. I've really enjoyed researching it for you. If you've enjoyed it yourself, please hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so. We produce a video like this of interest to people interested in the history of Lanzarote every Tuesday. We do a walkabout video somewhere on the island every Thursday, and on Saturdays we do the weekly news from Lanzarote. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll catch up with you very soon, and bye for now. Bye.